Yo, yo, what up?
What's going on, man?
Oh, all good, living the dream, as they say.
That's right. Me too.
Something like that. So, look, before we got into this whole thing, right? We were spinning our little magic wheels.
That's right. I was just about to say something about that.
Should we show the trading world how we base our decisions?
Yes.
I mean, this
right here, man. This is
oh
all you
yeah,
need.
tells you
Read
exactly
it.
what to do.
Yeah, that's it's funny that we brought it up because before I even knew you, I didn't even know who you were. Like, I don't know. It's been probably 2 years ago on Twitter. You posted a picture of your trade setup, like your computer and your monitors and whatnot, and I saw you had one of these little things. I was like,
Uh-huh.
damn, that guy's got one of them too. I've had one of these. I had this. I think my wife bought me this. I don't know, probably 3 or 4 years ago, and I've had it sitting on my desk right there, just
Yep.
a little knick-knack.
I've had mine for about 3 or 4 years. I'll be sitting here in a trade, spinning it, looking down at it, like, should I listen to it? But
Oh, I
top
know.
secret. Top. Now we gave away our secret sauce.
Yeah, man, that's it. That's all you got to know. That's all you got to have.
Oh man. All right. Well, let's just do what we're here to do, I suppose. Right?
That's right.
Chop some stuff up, break some stuff down, and let's just do this. So I got time to pull my charts up.
Go ahead.
What you got?
Oh, got me a little beer here.
Boilermaker.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
All right. So the first one that I was going to talk about, because we got some people in our Discord, just small group people that have asked us some questions kind of repeatedly about parabolics, right? We like parabolics.
Yep.
Love
It's
parabolics.
my number one play for sure.
Yeah, it's right on up there with mine. So we've had people ask, like, because we talk about different time frames and levels, daily levels, hourly, and people have asked, like, do you have to have a daily level for parabolic? Like, the short answer is no. Like, for me, right, it's a certain amount of percent up in X amount of time, and that's what can trigger the entry, whether it's a halt or up 40% in 10 minutes. It's more of a system-esque trade. However,
shout out to Chris Verma, because that's kind of who got me, started on semi systemizing the way I trade parabolics, but it's not. I don't trade them exactly like he does.
Right,
like
we got our own little spin or criteria via back testing and things like that we've adjusted or whatever. But so this was today, and this thing went stupid. Like, it was up almost
14 and a half at one point.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have the whole day's chart. I never do. I got to do better at that. But I hit it at 11, right? Halt resume. So a parabolic plus a halt resume setup for me is a little more ideal. First of all, if we can get the para move plus the halt resume setup, for me, that's there. I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take my shot. I might lose, but I'm gonna take my shot.
Yeah, I love a halt resume. I mean, that gives you time to get your locates, all that good stuff. I mean, you can look at the chart, say, okay, here's a level on the daily or hourly, whatever it may be, and that's how I like to trade halt resumes, which I botched one today. The only stock I traded today, but anyway.
No, yeah, I agree. It gives you extra time, which is awesome because they're fast. So took this one literally, right at 11, and I didn't cover on because it halted down, right? It halted up. I got in, halted down, and
you got in, and I wasn't able to get in. I wasn't fast enough, man. That was the fastest one I've seen in a while.
It was quick, but I did not cover on the resume, I was hoping it was just gonna break down even harder, but when it reclaimed VWAP, I quickly covered all in, all out. Which for me on pairs, a lot of times I'm all in, one out, one in, one out. But part of the reason I also liked it here, and I want to show because we do like to use hourly, daily, whatever on pairs if possible. So this is the daily chart for BIOC. The red line was pretty much the line I drew during this halt resume period. I pull up the daily and just look at it. Like, it's struggled to break and hold over 12 a few times, here included, which I liked this one because of a little bit of volume. I love volume. If I can see a level with volume, I get pretty excited.
Man, and I was just talking to somebody about that. A lot of people, they'll trade levels or whatever, but something I've really taken off of you, and that's just so important is is to have volume on those levels.
I like to have levels with volume, especially if it's a single touch. If it's a multiple touch without volume, I'm okay with it, but I much prefer it with volume every single time. This is a good question. Red flags on paras. Yeah, I mean, I always reference the daily, and if I see a daily where this thing has had parabolics in the past and has sustained those moves, that's probably one of the single biggest red flags for me. Like, if it's went parabolic before and it shows it on the daily and it's just continued and held it, never really came back down, that for me is a red flag. But I mean, yeah, if I see a daily with parabolic moves and it's sustained and held that move historically, then yeah, that's a big red flag.
I feel like it's kind of like one of those things you can make as complicated as you want to. You know what I mean? The more I dumb it down, the better it is for me.
Minute chart.
Oh yeah.
I can't trade a minute chart. I'll trade a 2-minute chart. I can't trade a minute chart. Not effectively. I would say I probably suck at it.
Jet, dude, I trade a minute chart all the time, man. I do. On futures, I'll sometimes trade a 5-second chart.
That's wild.
Just scalping it.
But so there was a daily level, right? 12 was a nice level of resistance historically here with volume. So I got in at 11 and I'm like, okay, if it breaks 12 and holds, like, I got to get out at that point. I would have had to exit. So the daily just added some conviction, at least for a solid risk level. So basically I risked a point to make 2.5, I think is what I covered at, or right around 9, or a break down below 9.
Dude. I was jealous you caught that one, but I would have ended up getting stopped out because I would have been holding it. Yeah. Well, I don't know. On that one, I probably would have taken off a good bit where you got out at, but I would have got stopped out on the other part.
Yeah, it was a nice one. I mean, it worked out, but that's just the scenario where it is a parabolic. However, we will still use hourly or daily charts on parabolic setups. So sticking with the theme of paras, I know you have one that you were going to show, right?
Yeah, I'll show one from today. I'll show.
I don't have any. I don't have any more pairs to show. I got a couple more things to show, but no more pairs.
Well, so okay. This was a trade I took today. It was the only stock I traded today.
Yeah, we both traded this one.
Yeah, man, and I was a little bit I was a little bit too just trigger happy, I guess you'd say. Hell yeah.
A pair of rips and Zeppelin on the guitar. Hey, dude,
man, Led Zeppelin is the greatest band of all time.
Whoa, it's a heavy statement.
Yeah, dude, I stand by it for the rest of my life.
That's all right.
I almost got a Led Zeppelin tattoo when I was like 18. I should have done it.
Oh yeah, you should have.
I know. I got a couple little ones. I ain't got them like you, but All
right, my mom's thrilled.
Oh yeah, the first time I ever got tattoos, man, my mom was like, dude, she was distraught. It was awful for her. Well, so anyway, WKEY. So this was technically a halt resume, but like I said, I was a little too trigger happy.
So for the record, we both took it on that first halt resume, which we both said before this show started was stupid.
Hang
Like
on
that.
one. Hell yeah.
Yeah, and
I,
I
lo-
said
I
yes
love
too. I do
I
too.
love Leonard Skinner too. Hell yeah. Um yeah, dude. So like I was saying, man, in the room, we were talking about I
We
was just
both took that,
yeah. So
and it wasn't wise. Why wasn't
no,
it wise?
because all right, so I'll show just in a second the really where I should have been taking it. So first, this was up like I took it when it was up like I think 19%. That was stupid as hell.
Same. So that's what we both did. We both took the halt resume when it was only up 20%. That was dumb. And I even said in the room, I was like, I shouldn't have said anything about this because this was not a good setup. So we both instantly regretted our position.
Hell yeah, dude. I did.
Yep. But
So
good cut. Good cut.
let's see here. It's Jet saying.
Yeah, I would agree with that. This week has been filled with some second rips above just above the high day, and then it fades off. But
I've
even
got I've got a few to show like that too.
GSIT was like that today, although I missed it because
I didn't trade it. Man, I was too busy, listening to that Jerome Powell and all that good stuff. But just stuff I'm learning, and it's like I know this stuff, but man. So yeah, I was just trigger happy. Took this short here. Yeah, hell yeah. That too. That too.
yep.
I try to do that, man. Like a lot of these, they will tap that 1 minute 200. I mean, there's a huge edge in longing the 1 minute 200.
I wish I could long. I suck at long so bad. Like I'm so bad at it.
Yeah. Do you see where this cover right here was 264 or 5?
Yeah, he just said your cover was the perfect long entry, which it was. You covered the
Dude,
dead bottom.
yeah, unfortunately, I didn't cover it all, and then I added here, and then I don't know what in my. I mean, you can't see it on this chart, but the 1 minute 200 is riding this. This thing grinded. It even right here, this pull, this was straight to the 1 minute 200. I'm telling you, there is so much edge in longing the 1 minute 200. But the reason why I didn't earlier this week, I don't remember what play it was I was in. It was one of these ones that went parabolic. Draw, yeah. Hey, I mean, you could have on this one.
Yeah,
With small caps, it's like I don't know how much I take into account. I mean, I'll use the trend lines, and I definitely do with futures. But for me, the 200, man, that's in small caps. That is like always my cover target. I'll usually reshort a VWAP hit like this on a para.
Even though that didn't work out, I still think that was a good hit.
Yeah, man, and I was trying to get filled. I had the order at VWAP and it didn't happen. So then it was like I was like, oh hell, and I like kind of chasing it down.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was dumb. And let's see this. And then oh yeah.
Agreed.
Dude, I went and looked at it today afterwards. Like I'm glad I didn't trade that thing.
Well, I got my chart on it from today.
Oh yeah, we'll check that one out. All I'll say about this is just that was a dumb ad right there. This would usually be something that I would have been longing into. And so I had to set a stop, and it was a little above break even. This is a loss. Pretty decent little loss. So not a big deal, but I'll show I mean, and I know better than that because it's stuff I usually end up getting long on. Just for quick reference though, I'll show this. This is let's see here. Yeah, here we go. So WKEY. You know, when you're talking about the paras that go into a level, I mean, this would have been a great para into that level right there. You know, it breaks a
Oh
little bit
yeah.
above it, but which is, you know, I ended up getting in some there and stopping out some. I just didn't trade this well. That's all there is to it, and that's why I wanted to show it. You know,
What's up, Brady?
what's up, Brady? What's up? Brady was just at the house the other day,
I
hanging out
saw
with me
that.
and here.
Yo, some bitches just hanging out, having the time of your life. So I'm out here just
Doing what we can, you know.
one of these days, sellers. One of these days.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, you're not but a couple hours away from me.
Times two.
Yeah, I don't know. Let's see.
We'll figure it out.
It's a good little ways. Maybe 5 hours. Yeah,
Worth it.
Yeah, that's right. Well, anyway, though, so that was WKEY. That's my loser. You know, that's my pretty decent sized loser.
Well, I'll show my loser today since we're on that bus, and then I'll show my GSIT after because that was not a GSIT wasn't a loser, it was a small winner, but and
Jed, I'm in Alabama.
oh, I didn't mean to take it out. I'm in Tennessee, so we're like all around the South. Hence, Zeppelin, Skinner, our
That's
stupid
right.
accents, all that stuff.
You live in Florida, don't you, Jet? I feel like he told me he did one time.
So let me just. Oh, let me go. All right. So MNK, for the record, I typically don't even trade stuff like this, and this is why. Because I just, I took a shot. I put a range order in. It is what it is. I typically don't trade. I trade day one gappers, right? Stuff that actually gaps up in pre-market. I'll trade parabolics, first red days, and some day two setups. I typically don't trade stuff that this had no gap in pre-market. This was just a runner that started running in the middle of the day. And I typically don't even trade this stuff. But I took a shot. You can't tell it now, but at the moment, I thought this was like a blow-off move on, pretty decent volume. And I thought
the volume does look like that, but man, all these charts like this, it's the same way. It reminds me so much of all these ones like this that I got absolutely pounded on last year. I always bring up AERC.
Yep, I remember AERC. Took a big loss on that one.
Yeah, I think I lost 10 grand on that one in a day.
That was brutal. That was a brutal ticker. But I typically don't trade stuff like this. It's just not my setup. I took a shot. I put a range order in and kept the stop pretty tight. Literally, my stop was like, I think 402, 403, something like that. And I was looking to cover at the time at the 1-200, which was at about, you can see it, but 240. So risked a little to attempt to make a lot. Obviously, it didn't work out. And this is, again, not my setup. Fortunately, I didn't keep messing with it because it was a grinder. And I typically just don't trade this type of stuff. And something else I want to show on that particular ticker that I have come to rely on pretty heavily over the last, it's been some years now. So scripts to trade, we use some of their stuff. We use gap stats. I know you use some of their stuff. I use some of their stuff. This is their abnormal volume indicator. Like somebody, I posted one of my favorite ones. Same.
Gap stats.
And I posted a picture of this on Twitter like a week or so ago, and somebody was like, "Oh, damn, you killed it." And I was like, "No, I didn't. I wish these were my entries long, but they're not. They're just letting me know."
Yeah,
I wish. Like they're just letting me know that there is some abnormal volume coming in on this ticker versus historical patterns and time and stuff like that. And this is cut off a little bit, but this is also the volume difference day over day. So as you can see, massive, another big red flag. But this should, and this is, again, I took it because I thought this was the blow off move, and obviously it wasn't. It kept going. But typically when I see these things trigger, for me, that's a straight up avoid. I typically won't even take stuff like that. So the fact that I took it was mistake number one. Because normally, if I see these little blue arrows lighting up the chart, Um, it's an avoid, but I didn't avoid it. I took a shot, lost on the shot, and so that was my loser today. I think it was like 6, 7%. Nothing crazy, nothing huge. I had a pretty tight stop on it, but that just goes to further solidify why I should stick to my setups and not just trade whatever the hell's moving. Neither of you traded NBA. Hell no. But we
were both talking about it.
We said in pre-market, we're like, this is a perfect setup, perfect gap and crap for our setup that we trade, and it busted into that nice level. I think it was like 105-ish, 110, or I could be wrong, something like that. But it busted into a nice level, and I missed it.
I was just DMing with Jet about this, man. He was like, "Did you trade MBY?" And I was like, "No, of course not, because it was perfect. Why would I trade it?"
Right. Like, I was into GSIT at the time and something else. I can't remember what it was, but no, we both freaking missed it, and it was a perfect setup. But anyway,
dude, I traded the hell out of that one. It's been several years ago, but man, I mean, I feel like I was trading that thing in like 2019 or 2020.
Yeah, it's been around for a while. And real quick, if you don't care, I'm gonna show my GSIT.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Because we've been talking about it. And this ticker is the ticker from hell. So GSIT, the beautiful yellow line there right at 7. I love the 15-minute time frame. I use it every day on every chart, every setup, everything I trade. I love the 15-minute. And per the 15-minute, this thing has struggled like hell to break above 7 and hold. Did it in pre-market, did it on this particular day, and there is mucho volume at that level. This is the volume profile, shows volume by price. There is a lot of people trading at that level.
Yep.
So it opened right below it. I'm not an opening print trader typically, but it opened so close to that level. So I went ahead and hit it, literally risking a break above 7. Covered, because it flushed hard. This is a 15-minute. I don't have my minute execution chart, but it flushed hard because this dotted line is the red to green line. Yeah. So it flushed hard below that, and I covered. And then I moved, and then I put a range order in, basically just at break even, or in this case, 15,200. Unfortunately, it crawled its ass back up, stopped out the last bit. Decent little win. Obviously, this is not ideal. It'd preferred to go lower, of course. But I know I told you this. On Fridays, I usually leave the desk early. 10, 11 o'clock, 10 our time, 11 market time. I want to be out on Friday. Like, I'll arrange my stuff. I will leave. I don't want to sit here all day on Friday. I just don't. But if I would have been present at my desk, you and I were talking about this before we started doing this whole live thing. We were talking about GSIT, and I was like, dude, if I were here, I would have slammed this 100%. Like, it has struggled so hard above 7. It's got it's given every reason why it just can't break above. I'd have tried it. Again, it's okay to be wrong, but I would have taken that trade. I damn sure would have covered end of day. I probably would have covered on this flush right here for sure. But anyway, GSIT, ticker from hell. I traded it back in here, and I actually swung it, but I haven't traded it since Tuesday until today.
I haven't traded it since that day, since that first day.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember. I don't think I traded this day because it wasn't a gapper.
Yeah, we all traded it because remember Momo in the room was talking about it.
Maybe? Okay.
I traded it long and short. I had like a huge win on that one on the long side.
Yeah. Oof. This one's been tough, both sides. And I mean, even if you're long, trying to catch a dip, this thing is tricky on both sides of the coin. And I just wanted to show this too because I have said on Twitter numerous times that this is a piece of shit company. I stand by this. It is. This company sucks. They aren't going to be the next NVIDIA. They aren't going to be the next anything. We all know what the end game is. This thing is going to die. But I put something on Twitter about this company sucks, and everybody was like, oh, you're stuck short. You're stuck short. Like, why is that a thing?
Stuck short.
What?
Yeah, maybe if you just like let it go against you, just can't be wrong, just
But
inevitably.
it's funny, like Twitter's like, oh, if you're short, you can't cover a losing position. Like, I don't understand that mentality. Like, I can cover for a loss. It's okay. Let me see. How long y'all been trading? Uh, so I got into it in 2008, which was the worst time ever in my lifetime to get into trading. I was working at Wells Fargo at the time, but it was all mortgage-backed securities. I lasted about a year at that job, and they fired everybody because 2008. I didn't get back into it though until about 2015, 16, something like that, and really dialed into small caps around 2018 ish, something like that.
Yeah,
Ballpark figure.
you've been doing it longer than me.
Um,
But
so yeah.
I first started dabbling in it in like 2017, but I didn't get serious until 2019.
Seems like as of late, volume at dailies aren't really holding. Funds seem to be taking advantage of the short. Maybe I'm wrong. I mean, I'm not. You might be 100% right.
Yeah,
Volume at dailies aren't really holding. Yeah, I mean, you're
there's been a
not.
lot of like wick through levels and things like that.
Which is why we both play
This is something, yeah,
the.
something we always do, and a lot
Yeah,
of people will
we.
say that we're wrong for this, but
It is what it is. It's been working for me for some years now,
it's
but
been working
I
for me
don't.
forever.
I don't set a stop at. Neither one of us. We don't set hard stops right at a key daily level. Like the amount of fake breakouts we've seen over key levels is insurmountable. So we oftentimes have a mental stop of like a break and hold of that level, which yes can create slippage. But if I go back and look at my charts and my trades, and probably the same for you historically over the last 6 months, year, whatever, it's paid to do that.
Oh, I know for a fact it's paid
Plus, we
because
like to hit fake breakouts. We like to short fake breakouts.
that's one of my favorite things to do. I mean, that's one of the trades I got this week.
So, what are y'all's thoughts on trading the red list as opposed to the green?
I mean, I
Uh,
have sometimes.
Volume is lower, but MDRs aren't really happening. Yeah, I mean, same.
Um, I mean, yeah, like you mean just like the top losers list?
I assume that's what he means. I typically don't trade off the top losers. I have a scan for it that's constantly running.
Me too.
Why was MB? Well, okay, all right. So
Tons of
you
bag holders. I mean, it's a bag holder ticker. You know, it was a big runner several years ago. I mean, and people bag hold this shit for years.
yes, we have a Discord.
We do.
We'll put it in the link or
It's,
put it in the
it's
link.
free.
Yeah, it's just a room with people trying to share ideas, but we will. It'll be in the description.
Yeah,
Um,
you're welcome to join. You know, it's like I said, it's free. We're not trying to.
all right, so if you want to show a ticker while you're showing your next ticker, I'm gonna go pull NBY and show why I feel like it was a nice gap and crap.
It was. It was. It's so easy, and it's like the.
I've told people before, new people, and we've said this on numerous shows. As a new trader, it's an easy to identify pattern, easy to identify risk, easy to identify target. You could eat off that pattern. It just doesn't present itself every day. Anyway, go ahead. So, yeah.
I was just gonna say there's several ways to play those gap and crap type plays. And I talk about it a lot in the room. If you're with a broker, you know, like a broker that's got expensive locates and you got a small account, I've got a long strategy for it that I didn't you know, it's something that I used to do. I built up small accounts from it, so it's
Right.
you know something I break down sometimes. So let's see here. What should I talk about next? I'll talk about this one. Because you know, this was a tricky one. Let's see here. So yesterday, this thing right here, ENVB. So at this point right here, I believe it was already up like 100%. Was it not?
Yeah, because it went from 2 to 4. Yep, 100%.
And kind of like we've talked about, it was like a gapper in pre-market, but it wasn't like and I think it was like a 20 or 30% gapper. And it had like several little. You can't. I should have taken a better screenshot. I could go get a better one, but anyhow, so my thought process on these, at least at this point, is if it's this time of day and it's up above VWAP and it makes a clear out move and it's holding above VWAP like this, chopping up, man, I'm usually wanting to get long and risk VWAP breakdown. Not always, but I'm not some great level 2 reader. I just
crystal ball.
Yeah, that's right, man. So like something for me was like we've talked about a bunch is just like the color on the level 2, the buy and the sell side.
Hell yeah.
It was equally. They were holding it up. You know, it was anytime it would start to look heavy.
Real quick, Jeremy, you missed everything.
Everything, man.
FYI, for the people that don't know, Jeremy Gales has helped us tremendously with StreamYard and all of this technology that we had no clue how to use.
Shout out to Jeremy.
Indeed. Nate was tweeting about this and the player. He nailed it. Yeah, Nate always nails it. I mean, good trader. Has been trading for like 15 years. You know,
he's. I wonder how old he is.
My age.
Is he?
I think we're the same age.
He looks older than you.
It's because he lets his hair grow and he has more gray. I keep my hair short, therefore no gray.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
38, 39. Oh, you overshot it. I'm 37. Damn close, though.
Well,
what could that
be? Man.
Anyway, sorry. Yeah.
Oh, no. I was just going to say, all I was going to say about this one was, like we were talking about, and like I said, I'm not some kind of great tape reader. I really don't know how to read tape like some of these guys say they know how to read tape. I don't know how to do that. All I know is that this thing was up 100% and it wasn't breaking down. I wanted to get long here.
Yo, real quick, Brady wants to know what were your thoughts on the ads?
I was thinking it was going to do a fake breakout, and that's what I said in the room. Is I was like, this is not a short yet. I know it's a lower high right here, but I wanted to short a fake breakout, but I didn't necessarily think it would happen like this. If it started breaking down any more than this right here, like this little top of this shelf area, yeah, I was going to be out. I was going to take a loss on the long, and it would have been a pretty decent loss. I mean, and you've seen me take losses like that. It happens, you know, and everybody will be like, oh my God, why? You know, they'll be like, why would you be longing after a stuff move like that? I'm like, because of this. This is what I'm wanting, you know? And like I said, the tape just did not look heavy. There wasn't, it would look heavy, and then you'd see the buyers, you know, and it would stack on both sides. So I was anticipating a fake breakout. And I had shares, you know, locates ready to short, and I don't know why I didn't get filled more short on this, but I mean, I got out of the long here and I got a little bit short, not as big as I wanted to. So then I was like, well, let me find a little pop, but I really wasn't expecting this one to break down hard. So I shorted more into this little pop. I got my full size short, and like I was saying in the room, I know it's not the 1-200, but something about these, man, and I don't know why it is, and it's probably not a good thing because I've said it before. You know, a lot of the. Well, hang on, let me see what he said.
No, I agree. I like level 2. I think between the two of us, me and sellers, I rely on level 2 a little bit more, which can sometimes bite me. but I like level 2. I'm more color coded when it comes to yellow, heavy on the ask or the bid. That was an old, I've said it before, old Tim Grattani thing. So shout out to him because I learned
And
that
that's
from
all I
him.
really go by with it. You know, it's
And I do like, in DOS, you can highlight those huge orders in level 2, which is so clutch. Thiz put something out there on Twitter not too long ago about that. Like, yes.
let's see.
Jeremy, we'll talk. That's a long conversation.
Oh, well, and like I said when we were talking in the room, I was like, man, I want to cover I want this thing to slam down to like the 280s, and I had my covers sitting here, like to get all out of the short, and it just barely missed them. So I was like, oh man, let me take some off here when it like reclaimed 3, and then it kind of grinded down, but I almost longed this again. But I was just, I was kind of mentally drained. I've just been trading a lot this week, so I took it all off and I was happy with it. It was a solid ass win.
You traded it well because this was a tough one. I remember going through Twitter and seeing a lot of people took L's on this one. This was a day I didn't trade because I didn't trade like this Wednesday, Thursday. So I didn't trade this one, but tough ticker, man.
Yeah, man, and I don't know why it is that it's like I was talking to somebody else about this. Sometimes these will be the ones that I nail, and then there will be just a gapper that's got an obvious level, and I'll do something dumb. I'll try to long into it, or I've had several people come at me and be like, "100 shares."
Oh, this is him answering Jeremy's question.
Yeah, that's the hidden buyers.
Hidden buyer, yep.
Yep, that's true.
That's just something you learn through screen time, man.
Yeah, there's really no other way to describe it besides just screen time. That's kind of, people were saying like, how did I know to cover here? Just with the screen time, like I've seen this type of move. They'll start breaking it down like this, but I know even the 1-200 was further down than this.
Plus, you covered going into that coveted, what do they call it, power hour.
Yeah,
biggest pump bullshit I've ever heard.
Yeah,
Power
man.
hour.
It just, the old me would have been getting screwed on this, but I've just seen so many like this, and that's what I was saying to everybody else. I was like, I want to cover in the 280s. I'm going to cover all of it in the 280s. I mean, just because of the way this ticker was. And, yep. Exactly. That's how this one was, man. You could see it. It was written all over it. I mean, I say that like it was obvious. It was obvious to me at the time, but it hasn't always been, and it's not always. I get screwed on them a lot.
Screen time, man.
Yep. So that's it about that on ENVB. It was a cool trade. It felt good to hit it, and everybody wants to be right. You can't always be right though.
So I went back and got this ticker, NBY, and for the sake of sounding or not sounding like a hindsight trader, we did talk about this in pre-market. We called it out in pre-market. We're like, man, this looks like a perfect gap and crap setup. Did we trade it? No. But all right.
We should have.
Noise. Jeremy knows about noise.
That's right. Noise.
I'm rich in hindsight shit. Ain't we both? Ain't we all?
Same here, man.
All right. So NBY. Again, hindsight trading, right? But purple is VWAP. Blue is 1-200. I like when tickers gap. And then going into open, I like when they show. Now, mind you, these stupid prints here are
fake
not
prints.
real.
Yeah, I hate that, man. That always messes up like the way it looks.
Yeah, so these aren't real. So anyway, it gapped up, and then I like, so to me, a gap and crap, right? Gaps up and it craps out right before open. Ideally, an ideal gap and crap, it opens up closer to here, like opens a little weaker, and then it pushes the VWAP, fails, fades. To me, that's an ideal gap and crap.
I guess this wasn't technically ideal, but it was nice, you know. And
It was,
I would have hit the hell out of this.
yeah,
You know?
and the reason I still think it's good is because if it for me, if it opens closer to VWAP, like this is only maybe 10%. I would like it to open closer to 15-20% below VWAP. 15 is ideal. But anyway, open a little closer to VWAP than I would like. But that point, it struggled with this level. And this, I wouldn't have taken full size here. I probably would have taken some here at this 103-ish, just above $1. But usually on my gap and craps, I'm 2 in and a few out. So I'd have taken some here. Hopefully I would have added here. Maybe I would, maybe I wouldn't have. Who knows if I would have caught it. But I mean, I like that. And then really, if you wanted to risk a break and hold, even of pre-market high, right? So let's say you got in here at 105, you're risking 20 cents to make 20 cents on a 1-to-1. A lot of people don't agree with that. I don't go with the 1-to-1. But even so, like, it's an easy to identify setup, easy to identify risk, easy to identify target. And I guess we've talked about this before, but depending on your preferred risk reward, whether it's 1-to-1, 2-to-1, 3-to-1, whatever, if I would have entered in some at this 103 level and some more, even say at 105, I probably would have risked like 115. I wouldn't have taken this little wick here much into account. I would have been looking at 115. So I'd have risked what, 10 cents to make 20, 2-1 risk reward. That's typically how I play gap and crap. 3-to-1 is preferable, but I love gap and crap setups. And they don't have to always slam and hit at VWAP. If they open closer to VWAP, I'm looking more at pre-market levels. And I cut it off on this chart, which sucks. And I also don't have a picture of it from the morning. But I look at volume profile a lot all throughout the day. And the volume profile in this area was heavy. Most of the volume in pre-market was in this area, which to me makes it much more viable as a level on these gap and crap setups. So in my mind, it's a perfect setup. Did we take it? No. Damn it. You know.
Oh, hang on.
Same, Jet. I don't have the patience for end of day cover. Sellers is the man for that. I am not.
Well, it didn't work out today because I was just talking about it to everybody in the room with the WKUY. Like,
for me, I will set a risk, and I usually will set a target of at least 2-to-1. I don't trade 1-to-1s. Very, very common. I don't remember the last time I traded a 1-to-1. So usually for me, it's a 2-to-1, maybe even 3-to-1. But if it hits my target, I'm out. And I typically don't hold any for end of day, especially if my target's been hit. It's a rare thing for me to hold end of day. Sometimes I wish I could, but I can't. I miss lawn chair. Me too. If I could just get in the lawn chair and kick back and have patience, that'd be wonderful. But I just
I do it a lot. You know, I'm always taking some off at the 1-200.
Yeah, and I'll take some off and maybe take some more. Usually my exits aren't one shot. I might take some at the perfect example. This was maybe Tuesday. Yeah, this is the 1-200. This was maybe Tuesday. I don't remember the day. But this was PHIO. The reason I took a picture of this is I don't top tick shit. I don't top tick nothing. Top tick this one though. Look at that. I mean, I should frame this, put it on my fridge. Like, come on.
That was sick. That looked good.
I don't ever top tick, so I had to talk about this one. But anyway, I got short. I'll show why. I covered some at the 1-200 when it. This is a fast move, but when it acted like it broke down and quickly spiked back above, I took some off. And then, fortunately, this was my target area based on my risk and my target. So I was all out at this point. I think it did go lower. Don't care, whatever. I just try to catch the meat of the move based on my risk and my target. But this worked perfectly. And this was an instant resolution play, which is even better. I love instant resolution. If it hits my target in 2 minutes, 30 seconds, 1 minute, whatever, like, I'm out. Don't care.
Hell yeah.
Um, but the reason I took this juice box, I know juice.
Brandon is a crawfish po' boy, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
So the reason I took this, because we talk about this a lot on most of our, I say most, pretty much all. We're gonna reference the daily. We're gonna reference the hourly, 15-minute, every time frame we can. I don't ever just look at a singular time frame. I just don't have it in me. I gotta look at all of them, and that's what I'm doing in pre-market. I don't trade a lot in pre-market because I'm getting kids ready, this, that, and the other. I'm just doing prep. But so this was the day I traded it. This day here, it actually did run up again later in the week, but I traded on this day. And looking back at the daily, it had this huge move with zero follow through on some pretty decent volume. In the moment, it looked like decent volume, and it ended up being decent volume. Like if this would have been, here's about 5 million, but if this thing would have creeped up to 20, 30, 40 million, then this kind of gets invalidated. But when it barely breaks above it, for me, I still take this into account. But anyway, the reason I'm putting this up here is this created a lot of bags. Bag city. People probably bought it all up in this area and they were bagged, and this was their first chance to maybe even get some money back for the first time since this was dirty. That's gross. You long that, I'd be pissed. So they have a little chance to get some money back. I'm assuming they were going to take it, and it worked out. Also, the other thing I like about this, we talk about gap stats. This right here for me was key. And I'm sure we talked about it that morning.
Yeah.
I can't imagine we didn't. Because we always talk about that type of stuff. But it's had 6 gaps above 20%. Every time historically it has gapped up, it has closed below open every single time. And then the average daily spike on this was only 12%. So on this particular stock that I took, that move from open to where I shorted it was, I don't know, 10 to 15%. Like it was at that average spike, perfect gap stats. What we got? Gotta go, Basil. You guys killing it? Yes, we will. I don't know what. We'll put it in the description of the video. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, or I could give it to you right now. Hang on, let's see here. I could post it in the comments.
Yeah, you post in the comments. I will also put it in the description.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was for me when it comes to day ones. This is shit. I can't ask for a whole lot better than this. Bag holders, perfect gap stats, low average spike with some volume. I mean, shit. I'll again, shooters shoot. I'm gonna shoot my shot.
That's right.
It ain't very common that I top tick anything. It's actually very uncommon because I just don't. I try to just capture the meat of the move and that's it. But I got lucky on that one. Sometimes you get lucky and catch a top tick, but for me, it's pretty rare. But that daily level gap stats, that was an A+ setup. And I think that was when we talked about it in pre-market. That was when we talked about when the move happened. I think we were all over that one that day.
Yep. Oh yeah, it was a good trade.
I was a beaut.
Brady said about me scalping the SPY. Yeah, I did. I'll show it to you real quick what it ended up looking like. It wasn't anything special, but
he's in. See you next week. Yes, sir. Monday morning.
Right. Oh yeah.
It's the only job I've ever had where I can appreciate a Monday.
That's right. Me too, man. That's all I did on SPY. I mean, I traded futures, but intraday.
Was this today? It was today, 19th.
Yep. This was today. That's all it was, man. It was just some scalps, not any kind of size. I traded futures too, and I was like, oh, why not?
Can we see intraday? I assume he's talking about intraday on your SPY trade.
Is that what you're talking about, Brady? PHIO.
Oh, yeah, I can show it again. I put it up there, but it was pretty brief, and I switched to the daily. Let me pull it back up.
Yeah, I traded PHIO as well, but it wasn't that day.
So I'm really bad about taking a screenshot of the whole day. I take the screenshot after my covers and I posted it, but I got in at the bottom of that daily level. That was the average spike amount plus the gap stats. And I think it had this crazy move. Yeah, it halted down. So there's a big gap there. It halted down. As soon as I got in, it halted down.
I can pull up a.
Oh, the whole day.
Let's see here.
But yeah, while you do that, but yeah, this is my trade. Covered some of the 1-200 when it looked like it. Like I said, this was fast, but it broke below the 1-200. I got a little spooked when it reclaimed, so I took some off. And then
how big of a time frame do we want?
This was my target. Can you just pull up like a 2-minute of the day?
Of
PHIO.
Yes. Let's see here.
I know, freaking top tick, and that's the thing. I don't ever top tick nothing. I was pretty pumped about that one. I don't ever top tick shit. I suck at trading. I don't top tick.
Oh, whatever.
Actually, I think I posted this in the room and I was like, damn, I had a top tick and a bottom tick cover. But to be honest with you, I had my limit already set for cover based on my, target and whatever. So I got filled. And like I said, I think it went lower. I think I could be wrong about that, but let's see. On that kind of chart, you hitting 25, 50, 70%. You talking about like percent gain?
He might be talking about the entries. Let's see here.
Oh, could be this entry. So I have been. No, this wasn't a full size entry. I have been for the almost the whole year, maybe a little more. I haven't been one-shotting. No, not full size one hit. That's the only downside of this. I think I put that in the room too. I've been more two-shotting my entries on pretty much everything because I've found and just going through my charts, reviews, stuff like that, it gives me a little bit wider margin of error. I've just been trading better like that. So
yeah, I'm usually a few entries on mine.
Yeah, so no, this was not full size. I wish I would have had an opportunity at full size. I didn't. But yeah, most of my stuff, minus pairs. Pairs is one of the few things where I will look to one shot, one in, one out, and that's just kind of how I play pairs for the most part. But with anything minus pairs, I'm usually not one shot, and so this was not my anticipated full size. My starter is 250 on anything for $3. So I use a position size calculator. I will risk, let's say, $500, $300, 400, whatever dollar amount I'm comfortable risking on the setup, and then I'll let the position size calculator determine how many shares I need to be in for full size, and I'll locate X amount, and then usually my first entry is 50%. Usually I'm 2 in, so 50% on one, full size on the second. On some setups, I'll do 3, 33, 33, 33. That's pretty uncommon too. Usually for me, my comfort level lately has been 2, 50, 50, 50. But
with me, it just depends. Sometimes I'll have 2 or 3. Sometimes I'll have 10.
Yeah, I'm usually comfortable with 2, but it's just a matter of, for me, position. It's that position calculator that I use that tells me how many shares I need to get exactly to the T, and I usually just round up off that number.
Yep. Yeah, I've got one. And I'll show this chart just since you wanted to see PHIO. Is that enough, or did you want further back?
No, this is good because but to be honest, I don't even remember what day I tried. I think it was Tuesday, so it would have been the 16th.
Yeah, this
day
right
there. Here. So that was that spike, and I'm on $50 risk lately. It's a gift. No, it's not. Look, we talked about this just an episode or 2 ago. Like
just how far you get disconnected from money, man. Like
we we'll lose $100 in 5 seconds, and we're like, okay,
we're just like,
whatever.
But then you think about it, and you're like, damn.
yeah, we equated it to like what's a good hourly rate for somebody working. Like, and then we talked about, oh, pharmacist makes like, 50, $60 an hour. We
Yeah,
could
there's
lose
a
$100 in 10 seconds, and we're like, okay, it's all right. It disconnects you. So,
It really does, man. Trading just
um,
disconnects you from money so much, and
which
that's a good and a bad thing. But it's been a problem with me in the past, But like in the morning, if I take a setup that I'm not crazy about and I lose like $400 on it or something like that, it messes my head up. I mean, that might not be that might not be much to some people, but like if
dude, oh, me and you have talked about this so much. Like, and not everybody has different size. And on Twitter, you see massive P and Ls. But dude, for me, and I've told you this before, if I can make 1K a day, even think about 500 a day, right? On average, 500 times 5, 2,500 a week, multiply it times 4. It's a great freaking month for 90% of America.
oh yeah, oh yeah,
But then you got to figure in taxes, this, that, But I was that. So Jet,
oh, it happens to
I
me.
don't, I don't trade pre-market. And that's why I've traded pre-market before, and I've gotten wrecked, and it messes my head up going into open. And I'm not a big pre-market trader. My kid will get on the bus at about 8:20, and I have about 10 minutes before open to sit here. And sometimes I'll get involved pre-market, but I can't do it.
Yep,
Best
yep.
month 165. So yeah, massive, massive. That's a humongous month.
Hell yeah,
Like,
it is.
but they say with trading, right? You get rich once. You just got to keep it.
Yeah, man, and I've I've gotten rich once, and then gave it all back, and now I'm getting back there. It's a cycle.
I don't have any more charts to show
I'll
prepared
show my.
anyway.
It's just
Oh,
great because
PHIO. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right.
Um, let's see here.
Yeah, I
Uh,
would agree with that. I'm not a good pre-market trader. Um, Plus, like I said, I'm getting my kids ready. I'm running around. I can't sit here, and obviously, we know you can't put stops in pre-market, so I can't sit here and monitor positions. So now I just don't do it. Maybe the last 10 minutes before open, but I'm never full size in pre-market. But again, that's just me. That's just my preference, I guess. Not saying I'm above trading pre-market, but it's never with full size.
hey, yeah, I know the feeling, man, of being up big, and that's how I was in 2021. I was up like it was over 100K within. I mean, it was pretty quick, and started giving it back. It just messed with my head too.
Yeah, the volume is a lot different than 2020, 2021. I don't know if we'll ever see volume like that uh, again anytime soon. COVID just had everybody sitting on their hands at home, throwing money in the markets.
Yep, I swear. Uh, I'll just go over this one real quick. So
This was on its second run later in the week.
yeah, it was kind of a multi-day runner, midday. And it was a parabolic, and I hit it here, and I always do this. I'll think I'm hitting a lower high, but really it's a curl. And so I went ahead and stopped out, and I put a little piece back on right here just in case, because if it was to start failing off of that, I would have just been hammering it any spot I could get filled, but it didn't. So I was like, well, okay, let me do fake breakout. So I added almost full size right there. I had two little pieces, and I was just hitting them as quick as I could. I was like, if this goes any higher, it was pretty much just going to be if it got like to 7, I was going to have to be out. It would have just been one like today, like WKUI. It just went further than it, than I should have let it go. Whatever. Um,
Oh yeah, I see it.
yeah. Are we on the voice?
We're not, but we've said before that I guess we
Yeah, we
could.
can. Yeah, and I was asking if somebody, a couple of guys in there, if they'd want us to hop on, man. We can definitely do that.
Might be easier because I'm gonna be honest with you. You and I talked about this the other day. Like, if we're in a position and we're monitoring, especially parabolics, or in the first 10 minutes of open, like we can't get in a position and type in the Discord like what we're doing at the same time. I can't.
I
I
try
can't do
to
it.
sometimes, but man, I've got it's like so much going on in the morning. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, definitely
It's
easier.
definitely easier than typing, man. It's so much easier.
He said yes, voice every day, please. All right, we'll work on voice. We'll work on
All right.
voice.
Yeah. Um.
I'm gonna put out a little pre-warning here, though. For me personally, summer break starts in about a week, and then my kids are home. Not saying I won't get on voice, but my kids are some rabid little shits, and you might hear some kids in the background. I try to keep them out of the office, but full disclosure.
Yeah. Yeah. Um. So all I'll say about this, and it's kind of like today why on WKEY why I hit that VWAP
Yeah, this is
put,
a perfect example.
and then see this one died, and
Yep.
that's the 1/200. I got a good bit off there, and then I was like, I'll hold the rest for end of day. I mean, in hindsight, I gave a little bit of profits back, but it's fine. I'm not worried about it. Shouldn't have held into after hours like that because then I'm trying to get a good, my good little chunk of size out, and I'm getting executed. Like right at the top. I couldn't get filled where I wanted to. It
Dude, I
was
hate after hours even more than I hate pre-market.
Yeah, I think there was like a 20 or 25 cent spread right here, and I was like, "Come on, just fill me." I was trying to get filled at 485, and it wouldn't fill. Uh,
Said that rehit you got on Wiki would have played nicely on this.
exactly,
Yep.
exactly, and that's why I hit it there, and why I had that plan for it because it was a somewhat similar setup.
Oh, it was. The only thing was Wiki after that VWAP move went higher, whereas this is more consistent with most paras, and that's the back tests we've run show holding till end of day has a much better success rate over time. But again, me, even though that's what we've seen, I still can't hold till end of day. But
And that's what I was telling some guys today is for all the times that I have one like WKEY where it didn't work out. When I have the ones that I hold till end of day, man, no. I used to do the wide stop thing, and I was trying to be systematic. Not anymore. It's not for me.
me neither. I cannot stomach a 20-30% loss. I don't have it in me. It
Yeah,
just will never fit my style, my personality, whatever. Just can't. Nope.
yeah. I just don't do it anymore, man. Like I did at one point, but it's not for me. I lost a lot of money doing that. No hate on anybody.
Well, and even Chris Verma, because I know Parabolics, Chris Verma, that goes hand in hand. Even he put a tweet out today where he has lowered his size and he's tightened his stops over the last few months, and he's had success with that. That's just where adapting to the market comes into play. So
Yeah, I may have been as well, man.
yeah, us
Do
too.
right now.
Us too.
Man. I mean, I just for me tighter stops are, and I don't mean like half day stops.
Yeah,
like,
I'm not putting no stop it. I'm not put. No, go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off. Then I'll say my piece.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, if you put a half day stop here, I mean, dude, 9 times out of 10, you're getting stopped out.
Yeah, and my biggest problem used to be death by 1,000 paper cuts. Like I would put stops at 2%, and I would stop out, rehit, stop out, rehit, stop. This was some years ago. That was my biggest problem. Why would you put a 30% on every ticket maker? Agreed. We were talking about the wide stops more so on parabolics. A lot of guys that trade parabolics will put wide stops on the paras, and they'll go for more of a 1-to-1 or a 1 for 1.5, like 30% stop for a 35 or 40% gain. It's not super uncommon with pairs, but that's just not what
It's not the way I trade them anymore, man.
No.
I can't deal with that. If I'm wrong, I want to know. I just want to be wrong quick. You know, I don't want it to be like, oh my God, let me just. I mean, it's just like with longing and
Brady,
letting it
about time
away.
he optimized.
Yeah, man.
I agree. Like, that's why I do data tracking. Is just so I can keep up with the ebbs and flows of the markets. Like you and I talked about it the other day a lot. Like 2022 versus 2021 was night and day. And my God, the data was drastically different. Like,
Hell yeah, it
I
was,
don't
man.
know.
I was losing my ass in 2021 for a little while. Or no, excuse me, 2022.
Yeah, 2022, the market shifted drastically versus what we had become accustomed to for the last 2 years prior to 2022. So, yeah, man, I do data tracking just for my own personal benefit, but also just so I can keep up with the ebbs and flows of the markets. That's part of the reason I like to do it. I data tracked hardcore in 2022, and that's the only reason sometimes I think I came out alive in 2022 was because of the. I mean, you saw my Excel sheet; it was stupid.
Dude,
It
your
was.
Excel sheet is impressive, man.
It ain't Chris Verma, but it was. It was a lot of damn work.
Yeah, man. There's something to be said about your Excel sheet. I
It
was
was a lot.
impressed by it when I first saw it, and you know, I track a little bit of stuff, but it's not like you know, not as much as you do.
It was a lot, but anyway, shit, we're well over an hour. Not that that's a bad thing. We're all good. Had a lot of questions,
Yep.
but I have no more charts to show unless you have more charts to show.
Uh, nah, man. I mean, I had one I could show, but it's. You know what? I'll show it real quick. Just
Do
real
it.
quick. So it was IFBD, and I believe this one was on SSR, but that hadn't been mattering quite as much lately. You know, some people say it doesn't matter, some people say it does, whatever.
Just sucks to get executed on SSR. That's you know. You guys seem like less nerdy than these traders. Do a trader do shit. Yeah, and I saw your comment earlier where you moved to Miami and blew a bunch of money, which I don't know that you blew a bunch of money in Miami. You spent a bunch of money in Miami on great experiences.
That's what I'm saying, man.
It's all about perspective, and I guarantee you had the time of your life in Miami. So hats off to
Yeah, dude.
you. And yeah, we try not to be super nerdy. I don't know. If you see my Excel sheet, you're gonna be like nerd, but
Yeah, I
whatever.
mean, I like computers and stuff, but like I live in Alabama, man. I'm kind of a good old boy.
Yeah, we just a couple good old boys. Best thing that's ever come out of Alabama though is that white barbecue sauce.
Oh
Like
hell
that.
yeah, hell yeah.
Ugh. If y'all ain't never had white barbecue sauce, look it up. Tip of the day right there. All right, go ahead. Sorry.
That and the football team.
About all that.
Roll Tide. Anyway, so this one.
All right, go ahead.
Oh man, this. So this is like a parabolic move.
Oh, this was a good one. I didn't even see. I didn't even see you. You probably posted. I may have just overlooked it. This is a good. This is nice.
Yeah, dude. And when I show you the intraday chart, you'll think so too. Thank you.
That's a
And
good one.
this wasn't huge size. This was yesterday, and I had traded a lot, and I was like, am I gonna hit this one too? I'm gonna go ahead. So I thought it was failing off there, like I usually do, and
Probably.
no, man, it really wasn't huge size. But in hindsight, looking back at it, it was like it was great. I should have hammered it even bigger, but so I'm getting in here, and then I'm like, all right, get in all I wanted to here. But the reason for it, thank you, Brady. I appreciate it.
This was like a 50% win. This was major.
Yeah, it was percentage wise, it was pretty good. But it wasn't huge size, not the size that I'd want to take on one like this, just because my brain was fried, man. I'll show this little chart right here.
That's how I was last week. This week has been nice. with having a couple days off. You know, I usually take off Wednesdays. Took off Thursday because of was a kids field day, or I don't even remember anymore. It was just yesterday. I can't remember, but anyway, took a couple days off. Like, dude, I gotta break these screens on occasion. I gotta.
We were just talking about that, man. Like, I need to decompress. You know,
Oh yeah, we're gonna talk at the very end of this. When you're done with this chart, we're gonna say our little piece about market exposure.
Yes, that too, man. And this is all I was going to show. These are the lines that I have or had. You know, like we were, it goes along with the things that we're always
Fake
saying.
Breakout, fake fucking breakout. That's why you can't stop at these levels. How many times have we seen this move time and time and time again on multiple setups, not just pairs, on day ones, on day twos? Like, you're not gonna get. Anyway, you already know what I'm gonna say. Go ahead.
Oh, I mean, yeah, exactly. And like the thing that made me more confident in it is that, and I don't. This looks like it might have been a reverse split or something. I don't know. Anyway, so that level right there. I mean, you know, somebody's shorting into that as like a double top, and it broke out of that and made this high. Well, that's why I was like, I could see it going just a little higher, you know. So that's why I wasn't stopping out there, and that's why I added into it right there, and it worked out great. I wish I would have gone heavier on it.
Yeah, you know how hindsight is.
Yeah, but with that one, it was. I knew I was going to hold it till the end of the day.
As a sick trade, that's a picture perfect pair. Like volume, boom. Spikes it up, volume down, boom. Like that's the type of pair I want. Instant resolution.
Yeah, that's the kind of pairs I always want. It's ones like that, man.
The volume moves. I like it when the volume moves with the pattern, just like that. Like that's the FU pattern.
Yep, that's perfect. That's how you want them to be. So that's why I wanted to show that one. I just, you know, not many people were asking me about it, so.
No, that's picture perfect.
Yeah. Hey, same here, man. And like I always say, you know, like I tell everybody, man, my number one setup is parabolics. Like that's what I've this year and last year made the most money on, like as per my tracking and everything. So that's what I usually go the heaviest on. I was already had a pretty good day at this point, and so I just was like, I don't want to, you know, F it up at the end of the day, whatever.
True.
But that's all that was, and that's kind of goes into what we were going to end this with just our little spill on market exposure and whatnot. And you're much better at keeping your exposure low, because I'm sitting at the desk all day most of the time, and I try to get away. You know, sometimes I'll say I'm about to walk, whatever, but it's
we talked about this a lot yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like statistically, and this is just a wide arcing statistic, especially with retail traders, like the more market exposure one has, the more they're likely to lose. Like the more you play, the more you lose type of thing. Same with casinos, same with the markets, whatever. So like for me, oh no, sorry. Indeed.
That's right.
I hope we do too, because this week has had some brutal reclaims in today, and then swipe, and then agreed. Appreciate you, Jet.
Hey, yeah, Jet, man. We'll see you in the room on Monday, and you know, we'll be in there doing the commentary and
try to get on the mic.
Ideas. Yeah, we'll try to get on the mic some.
Y'all can handle these accents.
Yeah.
No, I appreciate you, Clayser. He's in the room too. He's
Thanks,
appreciate you. But market exposure, yeah. So real quick, like I just don't like overexposing myself. I love trading the open. I usually like to be at my desk from about 7 to 11 my time. So, you know, 8 to noon market time because we're in Central. But I like to be at my desk 7 to 11. I like to trade my morning setups, you know, day one gap and craps, day one extensions into major levels. First red day, some day twos, which I'm still like, I'm playing some, but I haven't had the success I had some years back with day twos, even still now. But anyway, my whole thing is I like to play the morning for that window of time, and from 7 to 11 I'm not trading the whole time, right? Like 8:30 to 11 I'm trading, 7 to 8:30 I'm doing prep. But at 11, anytime after 11, if I take a trade that's not a parabolic trade, I'm probably losing because I'm just pushing buttons on stuff that's not my setup. I'm just overexposing myself to the markets. And then I'm getting chopped up and getting chopped and screwed, basically. So for me, I have trade ideas running and I have audio alerts on to where if there is a parabolic move, I am getting alerted to it from downstairs or whatever that I can come back to it. But I'm just limiting my exposure because, man, I just if I sit here all day, so what did I? Oh, February. I love pushing buttons. Shit, my wife would say the same thing. Probably.
Yeah, so would my wife.
So February, you and I did something a little different, and basically we were at our desk all day, every day. And my
we won't get into the whole.
Yeah, the reason why it doesn't matter, but we were at our desks all day, every day. In February, I was going over my stats with you, and basically February sucked for me. I was chopped up. It was one of my not worst months, but it wasn't one of my better months. It was one of my worst months this year, 2023, but it was just overexposure to the markets. I took way more trades in February. I was getting chopped, screwed, just doing stuff that I had no business doing, trading everything and everything. Everything and everything. Everything and anything.
Yeah,
But
man.
yeah,
I didn't have a fantastic February. It was okay. It wasn't too bad.
I mean, I
But
wasn't
it should have
red,
been
but
good. It's our birthday month, man.
I know, right? We both have birthday in February, but that birthday in February, I don't think I bought myself shit because I didn't make any money. I mean, I made some. It wasn't a red month, but it wasn't as good as. Anyway, the moral of the story is overexposure to the markets for me is a detriment. I cannot sit here all day, every day, and do well. It's just I don't have a system for it. I don't have the mentality for it. Plus, I like to have balance. Like I've told you before, Saturdays I disconnect. I'm not looking at charts. I'm not doing anything market related. Sunday, I'll get back to it. But Sundays, Saturdays, I disconnect. Now, not to say when you're getting started, yes, grind like hell. I grinded every day for days and hours and months. But now I want some balance. So I did this.
Yeah, and see, Charles, one of my good buddies and dude in our room, he can sit at his desk all day and wait for great setups, and it's not a problem for him. I mean, he'll go to the gym in the middle of the day, but
Sometimes I do that too.
He can sit there all day and sit on his hands and wait for great setups. I mean, I think he's one of those people that it's like his dad was a great trader and he just comes from it. That's like all he's ever done, like 29 years old, just only trades, bunch of money, just
that's a whole different level that I'm not at. I ain't been trading for anyway. But yeah.
Yeah, Steven Ducks.
Trick is being a nerd, I guess probably nerd and playing Counter-Strike next. So funny story, and I've told sellers this, I am not above turning on Apex in the middle of the day. I'll do it. Don't care. Done it before. Do it again. I might do it on Monday.
Yeah, I've got some. I've got a couple little games on here. I got the old controller over here.
Yeah, I play some. I just love to go outside too, man. Especially this time of year. Kids are about to be out for summer break. I will vigorously trade from 7 to 11, but I ain't gonna be in the room every day from 11 to 3 every day. It's just not gonna happen. Kids are home. It's summer break. I'm not doing it.
I'm big into my yard, so I like.
Yeah, man. I cut my yard today. There ain't no pressure in the adult world like having a good yard, especially when your neighbors' yards are immaculate. Oh, hell. All right. Anyway, I think we covered everything, right?
Yeah.
Jet, we're gonna end on your comment, Jet.
My guy, Jet.
All right. Well, we do normally have this banner, but we didn't have it up there today. It's all good. Anyway, all right. We went over a bunch of shit, covered a bunch of stuff. market exposure, limited per your personality, but whatever. We'll post the Discord in the description of this video. Give me like, I don't know, give me like 30 minutes to get all that together. I got to get my life together. I'm not the greatest with technology. So give me a little bit. I'll put it in the description. It'll be on the channel, and then you can join the room and watch us win some, lose some, and chop it up. But
That's right.
seriously, man, we appreciate every one of y'all that chimed in. Jet, appreciate you because you lit up the comments hilariously.
I loved it, man. Thank you.
Yeah, man. So appreciate y'all, and per usual, the whole like, share, subscribe, comment, whatever. We say this every time, but if there's stuff y'all like, let us know in the comments. If there's stuff you hate, let us know in the comments. If there's stuff you want us to do more or less of, let us know in the comments, and we will react accordingly. That's how we trade. We react. So we would react to the comments the same way. But with that, I think we're both going to go eat Mexican food and drink some more cervezas.
That's right.
And
go over there. I know my wife and son are ready.
I'm ready too. So they're probably waiting on me. I am ready myself. But seriously, appreciate y'all. Appreciate you, big dog.
You too, man.
Holler at you this weekend, and we'll do this thing on Monday again.
That's right. Peace, y'all.
All right. Peace.